Okay, so the next card, number 1, is the Magician. And let's just say that the Magician is the ultimate influencer, okay? So my keywords for the Magician are influence, manifest or manifestation, and motive or motivate, motivating, motivation. So for me, the Magician is actually a very sort of active card. It's astrologically, it's Mercury, so it's very much communication, mastery, sort of using the tools that you have to your benefit, manifesting what you want to have, with the tools that you can use. And I really liked this painting for the Magician card because it's a conductor, right? It's the maestro. He is in charge of conducting the entire orchestra. So as a conductor, he directs the mood, the character, the interpretation, the speed, and the volume of the entire orchestra. He is in charge of communicating with all of the other musicians via nonverbal gestures in order to create one cohesive, unified performance. So basically, every single musician in the orchestra has to be on the same page about how the music will feel and sound. And a good orchestra will see these gestures and adjust their playing accordingly. Throughout the rehearsal process, the conductor will reinforce his gestures with some verbal instructions or explanations, but on the whole, does not do a lot of talking. Come concert day, the rehearsal process over, the majority of his work is already done. So he basically has to know all of the instruments in the entire band, and he's in charge of unifying them into one cohesive performance. I feel like if the magician is off, right, maybe his direction is also going to be off, which means sometimes the magician can be kind of, in older historical decks, magician can also be kind of a trickster, like sort of pulling rabbits out of a hat and maybe not being super, maybe there's some sort of like trickery involved. I don't really read the magician that way, but I know in some historical decks, that's how he's portrayed. But I really like the idea of the magician being a maestro, in that he's in charge and he's directing the orchestra with his baton. I don't know if that's the correct term, but anyway, I really like this painting, and I think that really sort of embodies the magician energy for me, like that as above, so below. He's going to bring the sound and the melody of the performance that's in his mind, and he's going to sort of put it out into the orchestra, and then the audience is going to hear what he has in his head through the instruments in the orchestra. So that's kind of a little bit of my intention with this card for the Pensive Path, and just sort of a way to kind of think outside of the box a little bit, in that how are we directing our energy? How are we directing our orchestra? Are we giving good nonverbal instructions to those around us? Are we giving good instructions verbally to those around us? Maybe we are not as effective or efficient with our communication because it is Mercury. So Mercury is about communication. So maybe, we need to be very direct and, purposeful with what we're communicating in order to manifest and get what we want out of the outcome, right? We want to get the outcome we want. We have to be able to communicate what it is that we want. So, anyways, thanks for listening to me on this card, and I will see you on the next card.